name is Notepad, and on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working more on There's a Guild for That, a game about going mid lane and losing. So, what's the plan? So, the last time on Dragon Ball Now, we managed to get all the way to traits pretty much. See here, these are all of the traits. I haven't put in any art assets or anything, or really worked on the lore at all. To give you an idea what I was doing last night. Well, to give you an idea what I was working on last night, this is table dirt. This is the compiled. Give me 1 second. I got compiled table derby. I was working on table derby tonight. I am, for lack of a better word, about 99% done with this thing. All that really needs to be done is fixing up all of this. But I got all the way down here. Some of these are just really thick, and it took me a while to make sure, like, the page numbers look correct and all the details look correct. That was a pain in the ass, fun fact. That was just awful, and doing that was a pain. But we're here now. It's not going to be, there isn't much left. This is the last real big hurdle, these two. After that, it's like, here's the 2 name table. Oh no, that's going to take me for, no. A lot of these aren't really going to take too long. They're just kind of time consuming because I have to go through all of these very precisely. And very precisely find all the little errors or like the little things that are there and change to the right wording. That's all it really is. And it was just been taking a while, but welcome to that. The plan is to get that done by Sunday. But yeah. So the other thing I was working on was Project Instalock. Yes, Instalock is going to be the next PDF copy getting PDF'd. I do plan on getting Sidewinder up probably tomorrow. Yeah, probably tonight or tomorrow. I get Sidewinder up on itch.io for a sale. I will petition the guys at Big Geek Emporium. Maybe they will let me on. Maybe they will not. I don't know. Most likely I'll be selling the game for about $2.99. Actually, probably about $5.99. Or two, yeah, it was something around there. Not too much because it is a shitty PDF. Joining a bit before sleep. How's it going? I'm doing well. What about BG, Big Geek Emporium? I do plan on selling on Big Geek Emporium because they don't currently have a policy on AI art, and most of Project Sidewinder is just AI art. So that's how I've been doing things. I'm doing pretty well, Manly. We're just going to be working on There's a Guild for That. The main thing today, what we want to get done is, roll up here a little bit, I want to get Part A done. Pretty much I want to get the rest of character creation out of the way, because that's just going to be a lot of like little things I need to worry about, like basic attacks, range attacks, as well as kind of, I don't know if I want to do abilities here or I want to save the abilities for later. A little bit wonky there, but there isn't that much to do. There's just a lot of little stuff to do. And yeah, I usually like doing it, but I'm just kind of recapping what the plan is today, as well as what's been going on recently. As for anything else, I don't really know where I plan on selling some of the games, because I do want to sell them. Mostly I've been thinking the big ones I've been thinking of are Big Geek Emporium, as one of my consistent ones, as well as itch.io, those two being the big two. Mostly because they don't really give a shit what you put up there. I know they're going to get drowned out. I know it's going to get drowned out on itch, but if I get it on BGE, I'm pretty confident it won't get immediately drowned. That has a lot of, it looks like ass. It does look like ass. But there aren't that many people on there, and help all the people at Dead Tree Studios seem to like it. So it's like, okay, you know what? If I'm forging connections, I may as well forge some connection. You know how it goes. What about that Iron Age site? Iron Age has approved that. Has approved TTRPGs. The big thing is I want to get very specific games on there because, to give you an idea, this is Iron Age Media. This is kind of like their thing. There's a lot of artists on there. That's one of the things that I've been a little bit concerned about. Mostly the arty farty part. That looks like AI art. That looks like AI art, as that man is technically larger than that vehicle. So maybe I am looking at things incorrectly. But if I am going to do this, it'll probably have to be very specific games or very dedicated things, if that makes sense. Generally speaking, it's going to be its own thing, and me getting on there is going to be a quiet endeavor. It's hard to explain, but there's actually a reason of why I'm kind of not. I'm going back and forth with Iron Age because it's a little bit weird. For the I think they use AI to generate images for the prompts they use. Yeah, okay. It's if I do go on Iron Age, what I'll effectively do is say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, as well as post maybe like a few things on there being like, hey, creators, it's me, your boy, Jay Swizzy. Actually, it should be Note Swizzy, wouldn't it? It's your boy, Note Swizzy, in the house, ready to fuck some bitches and make your thing a brand new role-playing game experience. Yeah. Like, no. As for everything else, yeah, it's kind of sitting on there. That's one of those things I kind of have to sit back and like, him and haw about things. You know how it goes. Oh yeah, other big news of what's going on. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Game Market, baby. It's Game Market 23, Spring 23. There's actually quite a few JP designers I know getting pumped, getting ready for this. This is actually like a big market for like games for us in the good old TGO sphere, and I've been color me interested. You know, there's a couple board games kind of getting put out here. There's a few like RPGs getting put out here. So I've been a little bit like, I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground about this because this seems kind of interesting. It is Vidya. There are Vidya games, of course, because Vidya games make money. But I have been kind of seeing where the wind goes on this, and the one thing that I've been seeing about that is my boy the Siren guy right here. This is Siren TRPG. Which, rest assured, if I ever do get my hands on Siren TRPG, I will be dewonging it. I might be getting a phone call here. But yeah, this is the weird AI RPG that I've been like vaguely following. You kind of see here to like Chat GPT. He's literally citing Chat GPT as a fellow writer. And like these are a couple of the other games that are gonna be there. I've heard of Yankee Must Die as well as Yankee like Cthulhu Monster Association. Oh, it's weird, but yeah, I've been kind of following a lot of those because JP games fascinate me. Though we won't be dewonging, probably the next dewong project will not be a JP game. I'll say that right now. We're probably not going to do another JP game right away because there are two games I kind of want to do, kind of want to go over by themselves because they're a little weird. And talking about weird games is what I like to do. Well. So, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. So what we need to do is we're going to break this down into attributes. We can probably give it a better name, or then we're going to be giving it into skills. Then we're going to go down into abilities. So, actually attributes. I mean, we do sub-attributes. We could literally call these stats. Like, no, we'll do sub. Actually, no, we do derived. So attributes, derived attributes, into skills, into abilities, which, yeah, okay. We can do this. Let's do it. So we've already got what our traits are, for those who don't remember. Traits are effectively our, like, mixture of what we would like to kind of refer to as, like, a skill system. It's a little bit of a... pretty much all of our powers and abilities are come from our traits in some way. So you kind of see here, hey, the area where you're from the Scalding Desert. If you ever run into a situation where being from the Scalding Desert is a beneficial thing, congratulations, you can officially use this. And you get a +1 D10. Cool. But you can also tie every single one. You have to tie all of your abilities to these. You have to tie it somehow into. Because you are from the Holy Order of Assassin Monks, you have this power. Because you have a companion, you have this. That's how I plan on doing it. Easy. So. If anyone has a better name for attributes in this case, I am free to hear them. So, where a... attributes form the beating heart of the... I'm keeping an eye here. My mom's texting me about things because, of course, anytime I start streaming, that's when my mom wants to start texting. Attributes form the beating heart of a hero, allowing them form the beating heart of a hero. No. Form the beating heart of a hero, representing their best, representing the core aspects of their physical and mental being. Every hero has the same I don't know, how do we want to every hero always be added to judgment. Attributes will always be added to judgments and will be I don't even want to word this. Because it's pretty much the idea of, like, yeah, attributes are pretty much, these are your core aspects. Physical and mental being, when I hear, When a judgment is called, the hero will always add one of their four attributes to the always add one of their 4 attributes. But two attribute. But there will never be a time when 2 attributes. There will be a time when 2 attributes are used at the same. Never be a time when their 2 attributes are used at the time. At hero creation. Hero creation, they will have 15 points to spread across their 4 attributes to a maximum of 7 and a minimum of 0. The perfectly average person sits around 2 to 3 in each of their attributes. As the heroes are far from the perfectly average. An average person sits around let's see, as heroes are above average, their attributes will be higher than normal. Will be higher than their peers. Mm. Mm. Yeah, okay. Creation, 15 points of spread. Next, we're going to actually scale attributes, and we're going to do that with. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So. Yeah. And click on the right thing. Okay. So strength. So it'd be agility, intelligence, strength, vitality. Oh, agility. Pop up the size there a little bit, just to present. Hey, keep an eye out for these. These are important. Now, what we can do, we can give this a little bit more flavor to each of these. Know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a symbol for each of them, because in like Dota 2, for example, like technically like a lot of things in Dota 2 actually have like symbols, symbology behind things. Be like, this is what this is, this is what this is. So I mean, yeah, like as you can kind of see here, this is the strength one. What I plan on doing is probably going to have to make my own, but it'd be like putting the strength icon in here. There is no reason for me to do this necessarily in like a, oh, this is going to help. It's just going to help reinforce, like, if you see this symbol, this is what it's going to be. This is what you have to think about. So, because I don't plan on having this as a table necessarily, you're just going to see the symbol afterward. So, agility, heroes, let's see. How do we want to do this? Okay. Agility represents a hero's dexterity, speed, acuity, and coordination, and coordination in when agility, a high agility represents being acrobatic and soft on acrobatic and how do I want to have a high agility represents a keen eye. Let's see, represents a keen eye, sure footing, and graceful athletics, and graceful athletics. Nice, sure footing, and graceful athletics. Because like it's like, how do you describe like agility quickly? Like, do you just put that down? I feel like I should put more down, but I really don't need to put more down. That's really all I need to think about. So, intelligence represents a hero's deductive reasoning, wisdom, wisdom, connection to the arcane, as well as and scholarly knowledge. High intelligence indicates actually reasoning, wisdom, and connection to the art. No, reasoning, wisdom, as well as scholarly knowledge. High intelligence indicates a mastery of the arts. A mastery of the arts, including a mastery of the arts and technical wizardry. There we go. Kind of being a little bit more back and forth, being like, I don't want to strictly say intelligence is for magic, because I don't want to say that. It's like you are good at reasoning things. Intelligence does not indicate you are like book smart. It indicates that you can understand shit. People are you want to make an intelligence check if you need to understand something, not do you have a basic high school education? No. I don't feel that's quite correct. Having really low intelligence mostly means you aren't putting 2 and 2 together as easily, or you don't want to put 2 and 2 together. Not stupid, you just kind of aren't seeing the full picture. Strength represents the hero's constitution. Constitution and brawn. What do I want to... Constitution. Constitution synonym. Physique. I like physique. Fun word. Physique. Physique, brawn, and bravado. A little bit of bravado there. Physique, brawn, and bravado. High strength. High strength showcases the hero's feats of strength and impossible. And let's see, feats of strength and high strength, Herculean power, and enduring wrath through their enemies. Being strong means you're strong enough to understand. The system means comprehension rather than, and the system here means comprehension rather than what you know. Yeah, kind of. That's kind of the idea. What I kind of want to try to like get across. Because the problem is, like, you could play an intelligence hero who has absolutely no magical know-how. You could just play a really smart person with a gun. Oh no, there's a wizard over there. What am I going to do? Shoot him. That's what I kind of want to get across for all of these. Is like, you can put some of these everywhere, and it's not like, this is the rogue ability. This is the wizard ability. This is the fighter ability. You are powerfully built. You are a strong person. You are an intelligent person. You are an agile person. So it's kind of like more like having that. My other goal here, and my other very important goal, is I want to kind of get across that you should take all of these. There isn't a dump stat necessarily. It's like, well, intelligence, I'm playing a big, strong McHuge, so I don't need intelligence at all. You do need intelligence, because they won't be able to reason things out as well. It might not be your primary thing, but maybe putting a point or two in the intelligence won't be a bad thing. Hey, I'm playing Mr. Wizard. I don't need anything in strength. Well, you do, because it's kind of your bravado in some things. It's strength of both you as well as your heart. How You could tot. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, let's go to Vitality. Vitality represents the hero's combined willpower. Willpower and in the face of hardship, heroes with high vitality. Heroes with high vitality can withstand. We want to keep the high vitality. High vitality not indicates, not showcases, not represents. It would be actually demonstrates a an iron will in iron a stubborn refusal tender. So it's kind of like, hey, a little bit more there, we should and this demonstrates determination and refusal to capitulate. Most likely, if I want to do this correctly, this is going to be like a red fist. This is going to be a blue book. Strength will probably, actually no, this is going to be green boot, red fist. Vitality. Vitality is usually like green. We can probably do like purple heart. This is just for me. This is just for me later on. This has no bearing on anything. Oh, you could taunt. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with strength. That's kind of in the same, kind of same world. You're thinking right. One of the when a hero has distributed their initial points, they will then pick one attribute. To be their what did I end up calling it? No, primary. Actually, no. Let's see. We'll pick one attribute to be their core attribute. The core attribute represents the hero's dedication and training. Dedication training in that particular facet of their of them. Let's see. Dedication training in that particular facet of themselves. It will immediately gain +2 even will immediately gain +2 to the attribute, even exceeding the basic 7 cap. So if you put 6 points into it, you can do that and get 8 points. You can go to a maximum of 9 starting off. Problem is, if you go 9, you're really gimping yourself in other aspects. It's kind of the idea. It's like, yeah, you're gimping yourself in other places because that's your core thing. That's who you are. You gain +2 to the attribute, even exceeding the basic 7 cap. Maximum. Let's see, even exceeding the basic 7. Mm. I don't know. Inspiration juice. Mm. Mm. If they were to ever tie with their core attribute, let's see. If a hero to ever tie with their core attribute, they will always have the advantage. They will always have the situation where that occurs is very, very specific, but I don't think we need to put it in. Yeah, okay. So I want to make sure this actually. So I'm going to. Do I have a? When in doubt, openpaint.net. Let's see. Put this like right here. How far can we? What? How much room do we got to work? You've got a good amount of room to work with. We can probably do something like this. We do something like this, then we can kind of clearly see, like, we just, like, this is kind of like a big, it's not a very big image, but it doesn't need to be a very big image. If I want to be if I want to be, like, it kind of depends on how I want to do things, because I can do something like this, and then give this section a pretty big image. Like, this will have the big image, this will have a big image right here, or we can do kind of the more smushed method. I'm leaning toward the smushed method because I've been trying to keep things pretty small, like page count wise, with fewer images per, because I feel like I'm looking back in some of my old games, I realized I was like, oh, well, this page has like 2 things on it, but like, oh, I need to put an image here. And like, let's be a little bit more conservative with images. That might be a little. That might not necessarily be like better for the gameplay necessarily, but it's like, yeah, I think this will be just save page counts, because we don't. Why have excessive page counts if there's nothing but random artwork in there that I found off the internet? That would be wacky. Okay, so that brings us to, we've done attributes. We need to do we need to do sub. We need to do derived attribute. Derived attribute. If attributes form the beating heart of the hero, then derived attribute actually what you can call them stats, why not? Then stats are the muscles and blood. Muscle and blood. Muscle and blood. 16 times, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper and dead. It's all in your head now. It's like muscle and blood. Okay. Each of the stats represent various aspects of the hero in their during their adventure, such as, let's see, during their adventure, and each with each one being derived from different attribute, different attribute. Let's say with each one being derived from different attribute. When a do this attributes from the beating heart, muscles, and blood. Do is we bring this up. We do something similar to this, but it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a lot different actually, because because these are the things we need to worry about. We need to worry about basic attack, defense, health, essence, and speed. There's 5 of these. So we want to keep, like, if we do like stat name, if we do like a stat icon, description, and we just do like a very basic description over here. That's kind of the idea. So it would be something like basic attack, because this is going to look like, not going to be look like this, and this would look the exact same. This isn't perfect, but we can actually, but where do we put the math behind it? Unless we do something like, unless we put something like here, like this obviously isn't gonna, unless we put something like right here, and that's where the actual like math goes in. So what would this be? It would be, this looks really janky. Alternatively, we can do something like basic attack, symbol dash main attribute plus level description. Because like, no, this isn't card. Like, here's the thing, like actually like describing each of these isn't very difficult. What's the hard part in my head anyway, unless we drop this, we drop the symbol because we don't need the symbol, and we just do something like this. Let me do some of the bigger ones. Let me do, this one is the absolute largest. So this is the absolute largest, man says, and immediately posted a tiny one. We can do something, okay, that actually fits. Okay. We don't need this, really. We don't need that. So everything should fit. Okay, so, okay, this should be fine. This should be fine. This should be fine. Basic attack, represent the basic attack. Basic attack is the hero's main method of harming others. These could be blasts of magic, shots from a bow, or a fist of justice. Whenever a hero makes a, whenever a hero makes a basic attack action, they will automatically do the damage listed here. They will automatically do the damage listed here. I guess we call it basic attack damage then. Then we do something like this. So this is 8. We can probably, confident it's going to be a little bit bigger. We do 4 attribute plus. We do something like this. We do what it is. We do what the actual... We do something looks like this. Okay. Not the best looking thing I've ever made, but... basic attack hero's main method of harming others: blast of magic, shots from a bow, or the fist of justice. Whenever a hero makes a basic attack, actually will automatically do the damage. They'll automatically do the damage listed with no judgment. With no judgment. Actually, no. Immediately leads us to defense, which is going to be strength plus level, strength plus level. Power through pain. Regardless of the source, the defense value, the hero will reduce all damage by, let's see, regardless of the source, hero will reduce all damage by their defense. There we go. The hero will reduce all damage by their defense. Leads directly into me getting a ping from someone who's pinging me. Oh, it's someone from Fat Guy Buffet. Let's see. I love when people ping me random, right? The ability to withstand damage. So health. Health, which is going to be very big. Level times 10. This is very imprecise, by the way. I am not very confident about this particular equation. Let's see. The heroes combined willpower and endurance, allowing them to survive attacks. If it ever reaches zero, the hero is in desperate. Here is it. The hero goes down. The hero goes down and can be killed. Feel like I need to give each of these a little bit more because healing is going to be kind of like I might go over health a little bit more when we hit that particular section. Essence. Essence, which is going to be intelligence plus levale. Intelligence plus levale. The primal connection. Let's see. The primal. Actually, no. The innate connection. The hero has to the primal forces. The primal forces and ability to push themselves beyond their limit. Essence can be used to not repower, to refresh ability. Actions can be used to refresh abilities, gain plus 1d10 on any roll. On plus 1d10 on any. I need to split this up. I'm just gonna put it down here. I will probably have to sort these out later, just like staring at this document, because this needs a little bit more. This needs like a full fucking paragraph. Gain plus 1d10 on any roll, or what else did we? Refresh abilities or gain plus 1d10 on any roll of their choice. Essence refreshes. Essence refreshes. So you'll always have one essence. That's the thing. You'll always have one of these, because it's always going to be intelligence plus whatever your level is, which is then we're going to go to speed, which is going to be agility. Agility plus level. Agility plus level. Technically, yes, you should look a little bit different. Differente. So we go to heroes reaction time, reaction time, and quickness in combat. When a fight breaks out, let's see. When a fight breaks out, the hero will add their speed to their initiative check, into their initiative judgment. Let's see. Add their speed to their initiative, allowing them to potentially act first. Act before their enemies. Because we're dealing with AP. Since we're dealing with an AP system, this is actually fairly important. AP is going to be used for defense just as much as it's going to be used for offense. Going first makes it so you're on the offense rather than the defense. Being proactive in AP systems is very important. The reason is fairly simple. I'm going to bash your fucking skull in first. You are not. And because I have the initiative, I'm making an attack that you have to defend against. Hey, Notepad, how much have you changed the OG text that was sent to you? I have not deviated too far from it. The goal, my usual goal is to not change too much when it comes to text like this. The main thing that I changed was some of the, I changed the nature of some of the things that he was talking about. I changed some of the ideas behind it, but I kept all the same beats, if that makes sense. You know, he was playing this in major key, I changed it to minor key. Changes a lot of different aspects, but the same notes are there, technically. Probably the only thing that's going to be majorly different is I might do some stuff with the lore, because there really isn't, there really isn't a lot of lore, and I could use that to go a little bit further with it, but still stick within what he's kind of talking about. And with that, that's kind of like where things like Essence came in. When I reached out to him, he seemed to really enjoy it, so I'm rolling with it. If he likes it, awesome. That's kind of the plan there. Go. Technically, if I want to do this correctly, I need to sort. So I will probably change this. I don't really like the way this looks. What'll happen is I will give each of these it's like an own little, probably a paragraph, will be a 2 to 3 sentence paragraph each. With this, it's probably going to look something like basic attack damage, basic attack, whatever the, you know, the calculation, and then the description down here, because we get all the information we need from it. I was a little bit hesitant like up here because I'm like, this is the way it should look, but this doesn't quite look right because you have things like essence and health which need a little bit more explanation. But for right now, for what we're doing right here, right now, this is fine. Which is going to lead into, we don't really need to worry anything about substats anymore, which is going to actually lead into our skills. 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 Hello, Mr. Skills. Subverse. So you're not complicated. So they're not your most complicated commission. No. Because I think there was one you bashed your head against a keyboard too much. The thing is with commission projects is like sometimes like Theomashi was one that I had a lot of problems with because the basic idea with Theomashi worked really well. It was just like, oh fuck, how do I do this? This one was pretty straightforward because I know exactly what he's looking for. And he did provide like, here's a lot of ideas, here's a lot of things. It's the thing that kind of throws me for a loop is when you read in when I'm reading like a commission document or something. And in case anyone wants to know, the more information you give me, the better. Do you like Theomashi? I like how Theomashi turned out. That's like one of the big things there. I like how Theomashi turned out. It took a little while getting there. And I think the main issue behind Theomashi getting to where it needed to go was that there were a lot of moving parts that needed, how do I want to word this? Theomashi was a complicated beast because there were parts early on that needed parts at the end to be finished before I could finish those parts earlier on. So as I was kind of going, I would have to go back constantly to previous things and update them or fix them. So it was like, I work on one thing, gotta go back to step A. Gotta go, okay, we're at step C, gotta update B and A. Go to step D, have to update, C, B, and A again. It was a lot of things like that. And it wasn't its fault. It was just, there were so many interlocking parts with Theomashi that when it finally came together, I think it works pretty well. But as I kind of state in the detox video for it, like, there is probably some horrific combo out there that you can pull off that just because of how it's worded, you can like one-shot everything. I don't think that's the case. I hopefully don't think that's the case, but you don't know. It also is going to be, it's one of those games that really does require like is worded. It's not even like worded just because there's so many different keywords and parts that interlock with one another. Because you have to think about it like this. A basic, like, if you want to combine a bunch of words together, a bunch of things together, what could potentially occur is you are using one armament to augment an action to augment that is augmented by a power that might be changed by a manifestation. All of those are like 4 different parts at separate points in the book because that's how it had to be written. Yeah, the power of the GM. Technically, I do kind of put in something in there for like how to kind of counter stuff like that. Namely, your fatal flaw, which your fatal flaw can fuck you over quite heavily, and Verd. Which if you are in the Verd with your fatal flaw activating, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're gonna fail almost every roll. Like, you are not gonna have a good time because you are rolling 2D whatever your main die is, your hero die is, and that could potentially doom you. Interlock. Everything is interlocking. You should know that. Interlock. See, as I was joking earlier, it's just like every year I should just do another TSL review as it gradually gets more and more like strange and just more and more obtuse about what the actual intent was. Until it's not even about, it just is say like, oh, it's about TSL. Like, oh, it's about TSL, but it has nothing to do with TSL in the slightest anymore. Like, just something completely obtuse. Nobody. Are people in other servers? Yeah, create the Notepad-averse. I mean, technically, when the Mort Borgia Jam starts in a few days, I do plan on going. We're having to find the we're going to have to find the last recordings of the Mort Borgia Jam. Few days, monster. I told everyone it's going to be the 15th. It's the 15th. It's almost the 15th of May, which is weird, by the way. Which is really, really weird, and I don't know why it's already middle of the month. This is weird. Like 2023 has felt like it's gone by in a fucking blur. I don't know why, and it's very bizarre. It was like, yeah, because it's like, even when I think back to it and being like, oh yeah, I went to the UK not too long ago, but it's been 6 months since I went to the UK. I was like, holy shit. Like, my sense of time has been so distorted, and that's like, I feel like it's an issue, and I need to find something to, you know, get back to like my sense of time. Like, I need to do something that's like, I damn well know that every day is going to be lovely and great. What I need to do is read Yotsuba again. I need more time. I'm running out of time. Really, the only thing keeping me kind of like in time is like my commitments. Like, every month I'm going to do a PDF of a game. Every month we're doing 2 cases. Every month we're doing this. Every month. Like, even then it feels weird and I don't feel right. You feel weird. It's great. So, skills. Por favor. Whoa. That we need to do, okay, no, we're gonna keep with the analogy. Skills represent, skills represent, skills are broad applications of a hero's time on. The broad applications, actually, are a broad series of actions and talents that the hero has developed in their lifetime. Each skill is tied to multiple types of actions and abilities. Each skill is tied to multiple facets. Is actually tied to a different series of actions that the hero will take during the adventure, and its value and the skill's value will always be added to a judgment. It applies to. Oh man, cat invaded my hand. I decided to attack my kitchen trash can. To based cat. Reject the kitchen. Embrace the cat life. Do this, don't hesitate to ask, because people are like, I'm gonna pick your brain one day. I'm like, okay. Let's see. During adventure, skills value will always be added to the judgment. It applies to. Each skill is tied to different series of actions. Will no. So each skill can be applied, can be used in tandem with any attribute. Any attribute, as long as the hero can, Can be kind of any can with any attribute, and each skill can be used in tandem with any attribute, representing let's see, each skill can be used with any attribute. Being assigned a value representing the dedication training or applies to. Like this is one of those weird ones. Like I know exactly what I want to say, but the way it's coming out isn't quite not being worded correctly because it's very simple and it's like this is the thing with me that I've been trying to get better at. This is I am very utilitarian when I write. Like I noticed this going through Project Inchling because I've been trying to PDF that one recently, and I will say things that are very direct. I will say things very directly, being like, you're going to roll 1d6 to do this. I've been trying to add more, I wouldn't say flavor text to it, but a little bit more like, this is what this is kind of what it means, this is what you're going to be doing this. And it's not a negative. Here's the thing, it's not a negative. What I would say that it is, I need to give this a little bit more flavor because I'm the kind of person who's perfectly happy with nutrient paste, and other people are not. And I've I remember being told that a few times. It's like, oh, you write really plain, and it's like, yeah, because I'm a trained journalist. Like. That's how I write normally. I am very to the point with things. I come off as very sterile when I write. Only when I'm like writing these kind of games do I really try to give a lot of flavor and a lot of like things here. Lack prose. You could say that. I lack kind of the prosy aspect to it. But that's arguably, I like that. I like reading that because that's how I write. But it's funny. Anytime I'm talking like really informally, that's just how I speak. Like the way that anytime I type in like Discord and stuff, that's how I just speak. You know, with the pauses and kind of the We're not an avid reader of books, dude. I read books. I do enjoy reading books. I haven't read a lot of books recently. How do I want to word this? I disassociate fiction from this. I've always done this. And that's why like when I do actually get into like writing lore or something, my tone shifts quite drastically. But rule books and things like that, I tend to be like really hyper focused on things. That's kind of the idea there. And it's hard for me to put the two together at points because you have fiction notepad and then you have then you have like I am telling you rules now notepad. I've been getting better at it, but it's been funny, you know, just doing with the Inchling thing because that's what I've been doing a lot, is adding a lot more of that with Inchling. I thought you disliked the Mort Borgia concept. We're making Mort Borgia into a well, let's just say my usual prolonged shit post, because that's what I do with everything. Make it a prolonged shit post and make others suffer for it. With each single value being added to the, which is nice too. And actually no. Two or more skills apply to a situation. When two or more skill apply to a situation, the hero will always choose. The hero must choose one of the skills to use. Must choose one of the skills. Let's see. Two or more skills apply to a situation. The hero must choose one of those skills to use. One of those skills to you. If a fellow hero is assisting with the action, let's see, a fellow hero is assisting with an action, assisting. Actually, a fellow hero is assisting. They may add their skill to the total as well, even if it is a different skill. So pretty much like the idea here is, let's say for example, like I'm trying to get knowledge out of someone. I'm using my knowledge to say, hey, tell me more about this. I'm trying to parse through some information. Someone else can add their influence to this role and help me out on that. They can say, hey, I'm going to help him out with this. I have an influence of 5, so I'm going to give him a +5 on this roll in addition to whatever his knowledge is. That's kind of the idea. Which reminds me, I need to... I might need to put a note here about assisting. I know how I want to do assisting. It's going to be a little bit different than I... Yeah, you only have to write more fluffy stuff in a conscious manner to learn how not to write 100% bland. Also, I do feel sometimes I get lost reading what was your intent on certain rules, but don't know if that's just you or being at ESL. Always leave comments on those. Like, if something doesn't really make sense, leave a comment on it, or like put a note somewhere on it, because either I'm making a point about it, either I am being a little bit too flowery on it and I'm losing the meaning, or I can see it perfectly in my head, but the way I write it doesn't make any sense. It's that happens a lot too, because what'll happen is, let's say I need to like write like thing A. Like, if I need to write thing A, and I know I need to write thing B, is I'll do like prose A. I'll do like prose A, thing A, prose B. That's what I'll usually end up doing. Here's a little thing here. Here's what you actually need to know. Here's some things at the bottom, or like they tie everything together. What'll sometimes happen if I have to do a lot of information is I'll do like prose A, prose B, prose B, prose C, rule, and then like sprinkle the rules or like thing I need to put in here, and it sometimes just gets completely lost. Or like, I know I need to put that here, and I know it makes sense, but I'm also the guy who wrote the game. But I think that's like, that's arguably what I've shifted the actual little opinions to do a lot of the time, is give people like a quick summary of the rules, like in the most basic way possible. Sometimes I do it as like, yeah, I'm kind of, making fun of the idea, kind of like with I Love the Core, with a video that came out today actually. Alternatively, sometimes I do it just because it's like, hey, this is a 300-page book, but this is really all what it's trying to say. All it's trying to say is roll 1d10 plus fucking modifiers. But it's going to spread it out between a bunch of different rules. And that's why I like try to like summarize a bunch of things at once, to have you form your own opinion. Unless it's the wrong opinion, then I'll shift it to the right opinion. My opinion. Let's actually, what's the... I ignore all that. Yeah, the I Love the Core video is done not great, but it's done as about as usual for all the videos. Mind you, I very rarely get like anything. Like, I get a couple hundred of these. Let's actually see. TSL is gonna hit 8K, by the way, probably by, if we do this correctly, we're gonna hit 8K at about I would say probably at the end of the month, because this has actually gone higher over time, which I find hilarious, of people wanting to watch thirsty fucking sword lesbians. It's great. Part of me has debated on, if we go to like my channel, it's like one of the very first videos you see because I just do popular videos. I have debated on changing the popular videos to just the little opinions. Like, this is Little Opinion Season 1, you know, kind of the Season 1, Little Opinion Season 2, Little Opinion Season, 3, 3, 2, 1, kind of something like that. Alternatively, kind of put the curious cases up a little bit higher. Or change, like, I've been debating on actually changing how the curious cases are just like formatted in general, but that's kind of a here, neither here nor there. Or even make it like a here's a recent upload, because like as you guys see here, we got quite a few videos. Probably the best one recently has actually been the Die RPG, the combination of the Die RPG and Bunkers and Badasses, because people have just been confused about it. The fact that the BRP case is done relatively well, I do find funny. Very funny. Why are people still watching it? I think it's a few things. I think it's like, it is my most popular video, and like YouTube promotes that video. If people search me, it'll probably be one of the very first videos that pop up for a lot of people. The other reason is people don't shut up about TSL. That's the funny thing. People keep talking about TSL, but it's never in the way of like, let's talk about TSL in like a gameplay manner. It's always like, let's talk about TSL in like, oh, I really like the writing. Like, okay, do you like the game system? I've never played the game, I just like how it's written. Like, the fuck? Okay, oh, it's not a, like, oh, I really like the artwork. I'm like, okay. What do you think about the game? Oh, the game, I don't play the game. I'm like, oh. And why? Why are you still here? Why are we just here to suffer? Well, yeah, the pandering part, that's kind of a variety of things. That's kind of the nature of the beast a little bit. Isn't that the case with a lot of things these days? It's like, oh, it doesn't really matter whatever you make. That's not the point. The point is to make something that's what was the one line that someone said, like, I don't like the person very much. I think they're a little pretentious. But it was like, only thing that matters is like your vibes or whatever, and because of that, like, it doesn't matter whatever you make. I was like, yeah, you just fucking realize that? It was about like, why don't we have more books on tabletop role playing, like tabletop role playing design, but we have a lot on video design, even though they're technically one's a lot older than the other. And the answer is pretty simple, because there is no, objective truth on it, and everyone's going to say something completely different and hate you for it. And the only thing that people can really like get behind is vibes. Like, oh, well, I'm vibing well with this. I'm like, what does that mean? It means nothing. It's never meant anything. It's not supposed to mean anything. All that matters is that you are vibing with it, because that means you like it, even though you can't really tell why you like it. The stunt skill, Arcana, Primal, mechanics. There we go. The innate understanding of the magical world and its works. Alchemists, magicians, and inquisitors and other and inquisitors, cultists and inquisitors all have Arcana. Actually, I need them. There's influence. The ability to understand, empathize, and manipulate people, and work with them. Actors, politicians, actors, royalty, and what would be another good one? What's kind of what's one that's a little bit obtuse? That would be like, oh, wait a second, that's not something that I would think would be appropriate in this situation. Actually, and merchants have influence. Actors, knowledge. The scholarly, the adept understanding, the adept understanding of scholarly works, and the ability and understanding, and as well as recovering, recalling, gathering, and conceptualizing information. Actually, we want to do not mechanics. What we're going to do is engineers, courtiers, and actually, we can probably do couriers, because being a courier means that you would be able to know things. You know where to go. You're pretty smart. It's like, yeah, it's understanding of scholarly works as well as recalling, gathering, and organizing information. Let's see, engineers, the couriers, and another good one. Who's a smart person? Like, you want to say, I'm a smart person. I guess scholars would be the... Just being like, yeah, scholars have this. No shit. But yeah, it's like... Yeah, they have it. Mechanics. Let's see, the intricate ability to manipulate machine, manipulate, repair, and disassemble various machines, and technology, We want to do mechanics. Obviously, have mechanics. Wouldn't be that's who's a techie hero? Trying to think at the top of my head. We want to do tinkers. We'll do that's a good word. I like tinkers. Tinkerers, techies. Like, what would you call techies though? Like, what's like a title for them? That's the question. Like, what's their title? Yeah, I mean, those Dota 2 heroes got something. Do I got something to work with here? Dota 2, tell me more. You know what? Alchemists could work. An alchemist could work. Because it's like, yeah, as an alchemist, you kind of have to know about, like, tech, because it's a little bit of a different way of looking at clockwork. That's obvious. That's a pretty obvious one. Gyrocopter. I mean, we can look at gyrocopter. Don't make fun of lion because lion's silly. Meepo's geomancer. Snapfire, what's your gimmick? Snapfire has a gun. Gyrocopter has a gun. Timber saw, like, hello, Timber saw. We all like Timber. He's fun. What am I thinking of here? What am I thinking of? We want to do Tinker, Alchemist, and Mechanists. Tinkers, Alchemists. Alchemists and Mechanists. Little bit of a cop-out using Mechanists, but hey, I mean, it works. Primal's a little bit weird, so let's see, harmonious connection to nature and the elemental chaotic world around the hero. Ranger, let's see, rangers, druids, and let me think, what would be another good explanation? And actually elemental beings and elementalists. Rangers, druids, and priests. And actually elementalists all have primal. Kind of like the idea of, like, if you manipulate the elements a lot, you probably have decent primal, because that's your idea. Skill on hand, precise application, the precise application of the body and hand-eye and coordination, perfect application of the body and coordination to successfully bypass problem. Pickpockets, thieves and locksmiths all have skill. That's kind of, again, the idea behind skill is it's really precise. It's, if you want to thread a needle with something, it's going to be skill. If you want to do something, like something big, it's going to be stunt. If I want to jump from one building to another, I'm going to be adding stunt, because it's like me doing something big. If I want to pick a lock, it'll be skill. If I want to, grab something out of the air, it could kind of be either, because all it is like acrobatics, athleticism, or it's precise application. That's kind of the idea there. It's a little bit obtuse, but I don't really know how to word it better. Athleticism, acrobatics, or daring feats of athleticism, acrobatics, or physicality to allow push the limits of the body. Strong people, acrobats. That's a pretty good one. Acrobats. Mm. 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 Guards. What would be another good one? Actually, and warriors. Warriors all have stunt. Because that's the idea. It's like, yeah, it's your athletics. It's your athleticism. This is gonna work. I just kind of put this on its own page. Each hero. Each hero will receive, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. We want an average of, we give them 15 points, you're gonna end up with some at 0. You're gonna end up with like 1 at, we end up giving them 15. It's gonna be a lot of 2s and 3. That's gonna be your maximum. That's gonna be kind of like your, like, I want to be the jack of all trades. If you want to be really specific, you can probably get like 3 at 5 if we do that. Give them 15. Which is a little bit much. Maybe we give no, let's give him 15. Let's give him 15. It's not a lot. Or we give him 10. If we give him 10, you're going to be forced to kind of focus down on a few things, and you won't be able to get everything super high, and that's going to kind of dissuade some jack. Let's see. We'll receive 10 skill points, 10 skill points to distribute among any of their skills to a maximum of 5 and a minimum 0. Minimum of 0. Cookie grandma. Okay. Technically, the next bit would be abilities. Actually, what we should do is starting ability. Starting abilities. Now the final step in creating a hero is to design their first two abilities. Ability is a special technique or skill, or actually special technique or move, or special technique, spell, or that the hero has been taught or learned, or hero has been taught or comes natural to them. Let's see, special technique, spell, or power the hero has been taught or comes naturally to them. When first creating a hero, they will have 1 exploration and 1 combat ability. 1 combat ability. Exploration abilities are tied to skills, and let's see, they will have an exploration and 1 combat ability. Exploration abilities assist the hero during their adventure, and are tied to their skills. These represent to the limit, granting impressive results. Skills. These have the hero push themselves to the limit, granting impressive results to their impressive result, granting impressive results to their developed skill, to their developed skills. Combat abilities allow the hero to allow the hero to manipulate the battlefield. Allow them to manipulate the battlefield they find themselves. Allow them to allow the hero to assert themselves on the battlefield. Allow the hero to assert themselves on the battlefield, no matter combat abilities. Allow the hero to assert themselves on the battlefield, potentially swinging the fight in their allies' favor. These are directly assisting these are either directly assisting allies or harming their enemies in some way. Both exploration and combat abilities may be used in different contexts, such as using a normally powerful elemental blast of flame to melt a lock, or an innate or a loose control of an animal to disrupt an enemy, or to disrupt a wild beast in combat. Which I'm going to put a big side note here. Actually, I shouldn't. Maybe I should make this. I want to make this a side note, I think. And I'm going to make the side note being like, you can use combat abilities in exploration phase just as much as you can use exploration abilities in combat. They're not going to be designed for that. They might be a little bit different. That's kind of rely on the GM kind of thing to kind of do that. But if you have the ability of, I can burn things with my hands, it's like, yeah, okay, I have the ability to burn things with my hands. Normally I use it to set my enemies on fire, but right now we need to do it to cook this flambe or something. Like, oh no, the flambe isn't gonna get cooked. What do we do? Well, thankfully I have the ability to summon God from my hands. Like, each ability must be tied to a trait. Each ability must be tied to a trait. And if that trait were to be locked, then the ability cannot be used. So that's kind of like one of the ideas is you can get traits locked. You lose your sword. You are kind of in a bad state of mind. You're in an anti-magic field or something. If you're the grand wizard of everything, then yeah, being in an anti-magic field is something you don't want to be. However, you probably are doing everything in your power to make that anti-magic field fuck off. Well, or perhaps you're just good enough to get past it. Like, ha ha ha, I'm not using magic, I'm using my ancient technique of fuck you foo. Each ability must be tied to a trait, and that to be locked, the ability cannot be used. The first two abilities will be connected to the hero's primary trait. Oh, actually, called the primary trait or the defining. call it a main. Okay. We'll always the first 2 main trait, but as the hero develops more traits, they will be able to tie it to others. Best way to think about this, if my first trait is that I have a magic cat, kind of see you have a companion, I have a magic cat, then my first 2 abilities are going to be tied to me using my magic cat to do things. But if later on I take on, hey, I have a patron and that's the, god of cats or something, then I can use that, I can tie it to the patron instead. Like, I have my magic cat, but I also have my patron. And that's kind of the idea there. You want to spread your abilities out a little bit, but you can also kind of indirectly make them similar to one another. Let's tell the god of cats to stop making cats invade my house. No. Let's see. The first 2 ability. Then I'm gonna put a very dedicated note. Put ability creation bit here when it is done in the ability creation section. This is going to be one of those moments where I just don't want to write this section right now for a very particular reason, is that there's actually quite a bit here, and I want to get as many... Okay, I was like, am I going insane? I want to get as many... I want to get as many mechanics as I can kind of put in here already. That means going through combat, that means going through a couple different things before I really start doing the abilities. Because as I kind of explained in here, a vast majority of abilities are actually going to be something more akin to, like, here's a basic attack, but my basic attack is going to have the piercing quality. And because it's piercing, it's going to be that. But it's also like a AP2 thing. So it costs 2 AP to use to do my basic attack with the piercing quality. So, but I also have the, like bleed effect on it. So I'm going to hit you. If I do hit you, it's going to do that, but it costs 2 AP to use. That's what like a basic move is going to be. Obviously, sometimes these things can get pretty extravagant as you're adding more and more things to it. Which is like, yeah, that could be quite a few different abilities or different problems that you have to kind of deal with. That's why I want to get combat done, because when combat's done, what I can do is then I can go back to things and start typing in all those different keywords. And then everything will click together. Unlike Theomashi, as I was kind of talking about earlier, I think this is going to kind of click together a little bit easier. And it's also going to allow me to have a better idea of like how I want to do things. But if we go up here and we go past the preface, if we're heading 1, we do insert a table of contents like that. The really cool lore here. But yeah, we do this. This is where we are right now. Heroes are pretty much done. And we're going to make a real simple hero right now. We're just going to do a very basic hero. He's going to be John McSword. John McSword. He is a big man who hits people with his sword. First things first, we needed to find his trait. What's his main trait? Well, his main trait is big man with bigger sword. If we want to be, let's do we'll do a curio, gigantic sword. He just has a comically large sword. That's his one ability. His attributes, his agility, his intelligence, strength, and his vitality. Now, we've got 15 points to spread. We're going to give him a little agility. We're going to give him a decent agility. We're going to only give him 1 intelligence. He's not the smartest tool in the shed. We're going to give him 3 strength and 3 vitality. So it's 9, 10. We got a couple more points. Give him a little bit more vitality, a little bit more strength. So we got 10, 14. Let's give him 6 vitality. But we're going to make his strength his main. Thus he has 7 strength. Now we're going to calculate his stats. His BAD, his basic attack damage, his BAD is going to be 8. He does 8 damage when he swings with his big fuck off sword. His defense, dealing have a strength of 7, is 8. His essence is only going to be 2. His health is going to be his level times 10, so that's 10, and his vitality, he's going to have 40 HP, and his speed is going to be 4. This goes down to his skills. Obviously, he's going to want to take, let's say, Primal 3. Actually, if we want to do this right, we will do Influence 3. Primal 3, we'll play Primal 2. Skill 2. Stunt 5. Too much, and I know that, so we're going to instead bring his Primal down to 1, 2. So that's 5. That's 10 points. He is very strong. He is very big. And he pretty much gets to roll a plus 12 anytime he needs to do something strong as a stunt. That's his big thing. So that is how you make a basic character. That's all you need to do. Comically large spoon. And he would tie his 2 abilities, probably his combat ability. Ability would be like a sweep. His combat ability would, and his exploration ability would maybe be something like allowing him to use like his stunt for something else. The idea being like he's literally just being able to use his strength for everything. Because that's what he is. He's a muscle-headed dumbass. And there we go. Anytime he needs to make a roll, oh no, we need to make a judgment real fast. John's sword. John McSword. I need you to make me an agility check. Okay, what's the agility check for? Make me a skill one. Cool, I'm gonna be rolling, it's gonna be +5. Yep, +5, 2d10 +5. I scored a 7 plus 9 for 16 plus 5 for a grand total of 21. I look at the difficulty. Wowie zowie, I've beat the complicated rating or whatever. There we go. That's all you need to do. Easy so easy. Okay. That's pretty much it. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a look at this. We're pretty much done with part A. Here's what we're gonna do. Next week, we're gonna do exploration and combat. That's gonna be the big thing. Exploration and combat's gonna be next week. Probably on Monday, we're gonna be working on... This is gonna be Monday. Combat's probably going to be Wednesday. Like, once those 2 things are done, we're in the clear. That's the beautiful thing. We are in the fucking clear. We can probably work on this. After combat gets done, we can actually start working on all the abilities. Once the abilities are done, I think we're in a good place. I'm looking at maybe six episodes for this. It kind of depends on how exploration goes. If exploration goes smoothly and there isn't like that much to actually do in exploration, and we move on to combat a little bit earlier than I'm thinking. What we can do from there is just ride on time. We just ride it to the end. Once we get done with how abilities are made, then we are in the clear. That's the big thing. We are in the clear when abilities get made. because that's going to kind of put everything together, and it's going to allow us to do some big things there. Items and trinkets, I'm keep going back and forth on how I want to handle items and trinkets. Part of me really wants to do the, hey, items are pretty much just like little bonuses, and like the higher your level, you can start merging your trinkets together. Like, you can only ever have 5 trinkets or something like that. However, level 1, they can only be level 1 trinkets. At level 3 or something, you can get level 2 trinkets, which allows you to take 2 level 1s and put them together or something. So it's pretty much more about being efficient with items and trinkets rather than strictly getting new things. Because I don't want it to be like, I don't want this game to be like, hey, you bought a new sword. Sword McHuge does not want to do that. He's not going to buy a new sword. He's got his comically large weapon. It's not necessarily about doing that. It's about getting the sword trinket that gives you +2 to your BAD, your basic attack damage. On the other hand, you might get one that gives you a little bit more HP. One that gives you a little bit more, might give you a crit anytime you are doing your first attack, something like that. But later on, once you hit that second tier of items and stuff, that's when you start merging the items together. It's like, hey, I have one that gives me +2 attack, and it gives me +2, I get a crit on my first attack. Hey, I'm going to merge these together, and now it's +4 BAD, and I get 2 crits on and I get a crit on and I get 2 crits on my. Hey, I can merge this again and add something else. But that's kind of where the idea of the trinkets come in. It's like, even if someone's kind of falling behind a little bit, they can still get trinkets kind of outweigh some certain things, and you're always going to want to get more trinkets. I could see that destabilizing everything horribly, but hey, that's half the fun, right? Probably going to have to put something like a cost or something associated with that, being like, hey, you want to do this, you're going to need to pay for it, because fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Most likely there, I'll also make it like you can only carry 5 items with you, including the trinkets. So it's like, hey, I have 3 trinkets and like 2 potions that allow me to heal myself in the middle of combat. Cool. You can't have more trinkets, or you have to give away the potions. Cool. Hey, I have the ability, like your consumables and stuff are all kind of taking up the same inventory spots, which is why merging your items together is very efficient and very good. You can have less items dedicated to items and more to consumables you might, as well as having more room for more items, more trinkets, and things like that. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. Will that work out? I don't know yet, but that's half the fun. So, we're going to call it there. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. I am going to go make myself and scramble tonight, because I've got some meat. I've got some eggs, because eggs were $2.50 yesterday for 2 dozen eggs, and I was gaming. So I got my comical large amount of eggs, and I'm going to make a scramble tonight, and it's going to be very good. Tomorrow I have genuinely zero fucking idea what we're going to be doing. We are going to do something on Saturday, as we always do. Most likely we might play a game, video, we might work on something else. I might work on Inchling even. Don't know. So we'll play it by ear. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all on the flip side.